I absolutely love lighting. I believe it's one of those things that's completely underrated. Well, today we're checking out a new light from Godox. It's the Litemons LA200D. And later we're gonna put it side by side to the Aputure 100D and see how it compares because they're very similar. Before we go any further, I do have to disclaim this light was sent to me for free to review. However, there was no money exchanged. They're not sponsoring this video. This video does have a sponsor, but we'll get to them here in a little bit. So if you go out and purchase this light today, what are you getting inside the box? Well, you're getting the light itself, the LA200D. You are getting a reflector bowl that will hook onto the front. You're getting your power cord as well as a fixing band and a wire cable. And that's it. It's a very straightforward bundle what you're getting. Let's talk about the specs real quick. This is a chip on board LED light. It is 5600 Kelvin. It has a 96 CRI rating. It can dim from 0% all the way to 100%. It has 8 built-in effects. It also has Bluetooth control, so you can connect it to an app. It has a Bowens mount on the front, so you can pretty much add any light modifier you want, as well as it has a built-in umbrella mount on the light itself. Now, before we go any further, let's talk about the sponsor of this video, and that is ArtGrid. ArtGrid is the best place for amazing footage and overlays. This isn't just basic stock footage we're talking about here. This is high quality footage shot by filmmakers for filmmakers. I cannot count how many times recently I've needed to add that extra little shot in a video for a client that I didn't even have time to get or the budget to get. ArtGrid has been so great. They've partnered with me and gave me a code down in the description that if you guys use that code, you'll get 2 extra free months when you sign up for a subscription plan. I definitely recommend checking out ArtGrid. It has saved my butt so many times, and they have some of the best footage around here. They're awesome. Check them out. Let's go over how good the quality of the light actually is in real world testing, because we all know it comes down to how good the light is. It doesn't matter how many built-in effects, how many Bluetooth apps you can connect to, or how much stuff is in the box that comes with this. It all comes down to how good is that light. So I put this head to head with the Aputure 100D, shooting the same settings on my camera. I did the lights at 40% each, and then I did them at 100% each. I did a couple other ones, but everyone doesn't want to sit here and watch me go through every percentage. I did notice very quickly that when I was testing the Aputure 100D at 40% compared to the Litemons LA200D, it was significantly brighter at 40%. Now, when I looked it up and double checked the specs, that's because the Litemons 200D is 240 watts, whereas the Aputure 100D is only 100 watts. Of course, a better comparison would have been testing the Aputure Amaran 200D compared to the Litemons 200D, but I didn't have both of those lights, so I just did the testing with what I had. In my opinion, both lights looked great. You could dial each light in, and you probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference unless I put it on the screen which light was which. The last thing we need to go over are the pros and cons before I give you my final thoughts. Let's start with the pros. Pro number 1, this light definitely packs a punch and you do not have to worry about it. Pro number 2 is the Bluetooth app. I always love when they add Bluetooth apps in any of these lights. Pretty much all these lights coming out nowadays have no excuse not to have a Bluetooth app built into it. Pro number 3 is the quality feels just as good as any of the lights in this price range. I'm looking at you, Aputure Amaran 100D. And the last pro, number 4, is Bowens mount. I love when a light has Bowens mount and it's not a smaller proprietary mount. Anytime I don't have to buy an adapter, it just makes it so much better. Let's talk about the cons. Con number 1 is the fact that there is no bag included in this kit. I just have to throw it out there. Again, every light that's in this price range doesn't really have a bag with it. The same thing as the Aputure doesn't have a bag included. Con number 2 is the handle you crank down to tighten the light is very plasticky. It's just the same again as every other light, and they worry me that they're going to break. And the last con, number 3, is that the fan is not insanely loud, but it's definitely there. I dove through that entire menu on that light and I could not change the fan. I could not turn it off, turn it on. So it is something to mention. So what are my final thoughts on this light? Honestly, it's impressed me. I think the Aputure 100D and this Litemons LA200D are both great lights. I think it really comes down for if you're gonna buy it, whether you're in an ecosystem or not. As in, they both have apps and they work really good, and I have multiple brands of lights, and it kind of becomes a pain in the butt that you have to go through multiple apps, update things, stuff like that. But it's always gonna come down to you and what your needs are. If you guys are interested interested, I'll have a link in the description below. That's it for me today, guys. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, drop a comment below, do all the things, subscribe, or don't. Live your life, do your thing. You guys are amazing. I'm the Iron Giant. See you next time. Peace.